I'm trying to get my camera set up right. I hope you guys can see me. And yeah, so let's begin. So I've been on a roll with a couple of videos, and I just decided to make this video about how to start a self-love journey. I tell you this because this was one of my New Year's resolutions, and a lot of my friends have been coming to me telling me like they want to start a self-love journey and stuff, and they feel very insecure, and you know, there's a lot of things that feed that, like Instagram. A lot of people look up to Instagram, but they don't know that it's basically a curation of your best moments. Even my Instagram, you know, I don't want, like, when I meet people like, oh, you're so photogenic, oh, you're so this, I'm like, those are my best moments, you know? You have to love me for my Instagram, and you gotta love me for my Tumblr, which is probably not my best moment. So it's a balance. But y'all remember the first video when this happened? So the first thing I believe in starting a self-love journey is having somewhere where you can track your progress. And this means having either a journal, either Evernote, which is really good, or even just the Notes app on your iPhone. I actually have a Notes app on my iPhone that kind of I just write progress and things. And just create some goals and some measurable things that you want to meet, you know? So when I was getting inspiration online and reading up different ideas for inspiration for a self-love journey, some people had an idea of, by the end of the year, I want to wear a bikini and feel confident. Or I want to stop negative self-talk. Or I want to develop a habit of gratitude and really center myself in my life. Just create little progress goals so that when you're, you know, going through back and forth, you can say, wow, January was here. Wow, July I was here. And just really compare yourself. And it's really good anytime you're doing any sort of journey to keep progress. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is self-awareness is the first part in self-love and mental health, and just reducing like emotional abuse and emotional toxicity. So the first thing I'll tell you is become self-aware. Now I know what you're saying, how am I going to become self-aware? There's a lot of different ways. So I'll put different links down below, but one thing you can do is called the DBT house, and that's basically where you kind of write your sense of self. So you have the basement floor, which is like, I think your like hidden thoughts, and then the first floor is something with you, and then the top floor is like what you want to be, but it's the hardest floor to get up to. So it's just where you're writing things about yourself, and you kind of just have somewhere where you can see the positives and the negatives and things you really need to work on that you might not have known before. The thing I used that was awesome was the Johari window, and I got this from Being Mary Jane, and it's really easy. It's a simple square. It's like a blank piece of paper, and it's 4 squares. And I'll quickly explain what the squares are. So the first square is open behaviors and behaviors that others are aware of. So for that square, it could be introvert, extrovert, type A, simple things that everybody kind of knows about you. Box 2 are like the blind qualities, and these are the things people say a lot but you refuse to accept. So this one's kind of hard because you're like, ugh, you know, whatever, you know. But for me, I have quite a few things, but one thing for me I'll say is attention to detail. My dad always told me, pay attention to detail, pay attention to detail. I'm like, oh, whatever, you know. And then honestly, it wasn't until I was living on my own and I'm in college and I'm 5,000 miles away from my family and I'm doing things on my own that I'm like, oh my God, I really need to pay attention to detail. And then that forced me to like become very careful with organization, because since it's very easy for me to miss something, I'm very, very, not OCD, but I'm very cognizant of just being careful of packing the night before, having my clothes out, making sure I have all my books, because I don't want to miss a detail. I don't want to leave something, and it's a habit I need to work on. The third box is, I think it's blind spots. So these are the hidden things that we're afraid to share. And this one's very deep. So this can be shame, guilt. It can be something that happened and you never told anyone. And this can be as personal as you want it to be. And this is just to help you be self-aware. So this one's a very hard box, but it's whatever you feel are things that nobody knows and hidden things about you and things you want to move from. And box 4 are the behaviors that's unknown to yourself and unknown to others. This one was kind of hard because it's basically the unconscious self. But there will be information in the description box below on how you can create a Johari window or a DBT house to help you become self-aware. So the second thing to do is to ask yourself some deep questions. I tell people, give yourself a page to answer some of these questions. So that can be, what do you do when you feel like giving up? What is your push through? And, you know, those kind of questions. Just really deep questions that help you see your highs, your lows, and solutions that you used in the past that really helped you. The third thing is to create a personal mission statement and a eulogy. Now, for my self-love journey, I always had a eulogy because I got the idea from a book, Habits of Highly Effective People. But both of them are really great things to do. So everyone knows a mission statement is just an idea of the values, the core things that an institution or a person kind of believes in, and just kind of a definition of self that encompasses the values, encompasses the integrity, just things you really believe in and things you want to come to fruition. It's a bit idealistic, but that's great because everyone loves idealistic. Everyone loves optimism, and optimism actually can help push you through. And then the eulogy, a eulogy is basically when someone dies and there's a funeral, you have a eulogy where people say all these good things about them, like Michael Jackson was an amazing performer, changed the whole scene of pop music in the American music industry. He was able to touch 1,000 people from international to domestic. And he was very charitable, and he had tons of foundations, and he really helped show Black people in a different light at that time when the tensions were high. That's an example of a eulogy. And basically in the books of Habits of Highly Effective People, he suggests writing your own eulogy. Now this could be kind of morbid because it's like death, it's like, oh my god, I died, but it's an amazing thing to write. So basically what he suggests was, you're underground, you're dead. What do you want people to say about you? What do you want your legacy to be? And for me, when I thought about that, it really centered me because I was just like, wow, like if I die tomorrow, like what do I want to be known for? What are things that I haven't done that I really should do? And what are things that I'm focusing on right now that aren't going to matter in my legacy, you know? So really create a eulogy and create your legacy and have that sense of gratitude, have that sense of self-love and that sense of that you can do it before, you know, everything falls down. And this is not to say live every day as your last and go crazy, but this is to say live in the present and allow the present to be a means in which you can redeem your future. And I got that from Paulo Coelho, who wrote The Alchemist. So what is number 4? Number 4 is create a self-care chart. So this is just an idea I got from a quote that says, find a habit that makes you money, that keeps you fit, and keeps you creative. Same thing with self-care. Find a self-care that keeps you fit. For me, I like yoga. I like walking. I love walking. Meditating. One that keeps you creative. For me, that's YouTube, that's blogging. And one that makes you money, YouTube, blogging, and of course working in healthcare, which I love. Self-love is an ongoing journey. Keep your journal, keep progress, do the Johari window, become self-aware, create habits and self-care tips that you feel will help you in every way, create a self-care basket, and this can be lotion, nail polish, nail filer, a good book. It can be anything to the imagination that just really makes you feel good and helps you become centered in a really good place. Like I said, climb. This is an ongoing process. and just keep track of it and share it and document it and lift up other women. I compliment people, especially women, a lot, you know, and it's, you know, yeah, like, oh my god, I have a girl crush, I love this person, but it's because compliments make such a big difference. And I just know for me, when someone compliments me, you know, I am sort of modest. I'm like, oh, you know, stop. But lately, now I've been on my self-love journey, I now say thank you. I do not say stop. I do not say quit. I do not say, oh my god, that's so not true, stop it, if you only knew. But no, a compliment's a compliment. You know, thank you so much. And my comments, thank you so much. Do you want to talk, blah, blah, blah. Because it's just, everything matters, you know, and everything is accumulation, and it's a dart hitting us. And that dart can be positive or negative. And with self-love, you just want to collect the positives. And yeah, you're going to have negatives here and there, but hopefully the journey gives you the tools on how to deal with these negatives. And I hope you like this. And if you guys want a series, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you do for self-love. Bye.